Did the double angle formulas last time. Now we're going to do the half angle formulas. From last time, we showed that the cosine of twice x is 2 times cosine squared x minus 1. So we want to solve this equation for cosine squared x. Well, first let's solve it for twice that. So twice cosine squared x is equal to 1 plus cosine of 2x. Divide both sides by 2, we get this. So cosine of x, taking square root of both sides, is plus or minus the square root of 1 plus cosine 2x over 2. Now, suppose so this is angle x, and this is 2 times that same angle x. What if I say big X is equal to 2x? Okay, so for over here, I have the square root of 1 plus cosine of 2 little x. Well, that's just big X over 2. And on the left side, I have the cosine of little x. Well, if I divide both sides by 2, I find that little x is big X over 2. And here's my half angle formula. Basically, I just divided the angles by 2. You're allowed to do that. Why? Because it's just a renaming. It's just a renaming. That's that one. How about we keep that one? Now, we know that the sine squared of x is equal to 1 minus the cosine squared of x. That was one of our Pythagorean identities. Sine squared x plus cosine squared x is 1. But the nice thing here is we know how to write cosine squared x without squares. We just did it. The cosine of 2x or plus 1 over 2. Okay. So you have 1 and you are taking away 1/2. So you're going to have a half left. And let's not forget to take away the cosine of 2x over 2. That is, with a common denominator, we have 1 minus cosine 2x over 2. And this is sine squared x. Take the square root of the left side. It's going to equal plus or minus the square root of the right hand side. And there is our second formula. I could replace this with x over 2, and this 2x will just be x. Why? Because 2x over 2 is just x. So there is my second formula. They look almost the same. Please notice that, so you can remember it easily. Minus, plus. Other than that, get the same answer. So, one might ask, well, what is the tangent? Well, the tangent of x over 2 is equal to the sine of x over 2, which is 1 minus cosine x over 2, divided by the cosine of x over 2, which is plus minus the square root of 1 plus cosine x over 2. The 2's are actually going to cancel, so you're going to get plus minus 1 minus cosine x over 1 plus cosine x. And there's the tan formula. Now I hope that you see how easy it is to get the reciprocals of these, the other functions. For example, the cosecant of x over 2, which is the reciprocal of this, well, it's going to be the reciprocal of that. It's going to be plus minus the square root of 2 over 1 minus cosine x. And the reciprocal of this is going to be the secant of x over 2. And it's going to equal to the reciprocal of that. Plus minus square root of 2 over 1 plus cosine x. And the reciprocal of this, when we try to sneak it in here, which is the cotangent of x over 2, is going to equal the plus minus whatever the reciprocal or whatever tangent of x over 2 is, which is that. So I flip it over, get 1 plus cosine x over 1 minus cosine x, all under the square root sign. There are your 6 trig functions. Half angle formulas for trig functions. Nice and quick.